any guide, it is possible this leads to a larger and more profitable business model for Zillow.
Indulging.
I know the word they
There
used
is
was
so-
indulging.
There is so much
Delectables.
meat in what was just said right there, the whole pay to play. Welcome to the Real Estate Rundown. I am Elliot Tomaszewski, joined by Jason and Kayla. Today, we are really excited to be with you because we got something that is, I think, kind of touchy out there that so many people are not wanting to talk about. Zillow has come out and said that they pretty much want all of the leads that they are aggregating to the agents to start using Zillow Home Loans to fulfill those buyers' needs. And if they don't, they risk being kicked out of their lead pool.
Wow. That's been tried before.
I know.
Yeah.
Many times.
So, okay, well, Zillow is doing well. They're outperforming the real estate industry.
Their home loans or
Their
just Zillow?
Zillow.
In general.
Okay.
And their home loan product is doing okay. And they keep saying in their shareholder reports that they're outperforming the real estate industry quarter over quarter. This is their fourth consecutive quarter of outperforming the real estate industry.
Yeah, I don't watch TV that much, but I when I started watching the World Series, I noticed that Zillow had a bunch of commercials, and they were Zillow home loan commercials.
Yes.
So
They're definitely pouring into that.
So if you're working with Zillow, now any lead that you get with them, you're going to need to make sure you plug that Zillow home loan.
At least
so
if
your lender's paying half your Zillow bill,
That's not going to work
it's not going to happen anymore.
Nope,
Now you're going to have to pay your whole bill and you have to pay
and a
it.
split, right?
Wow.
Like that's what we're talking about. They're talking about heavy monetization, especially because in most markets, they're really leaning into Zillow Flex, right? Those of you guys that don't know, Zillow has two different programs. There are certain markets that you can actually buy the lead, right? And every, you have zip code share essentially that leads are on rotation to you. Then Zillow Flex is, hey, we'll give you this vetted out lead, which a lot of times it's a higher quality lead, but you're paying a 40 to 60% split in certain cases.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting. So I thought this was kind of, speaking of Zillow, I'm going to read
United
this.
States of Zillow.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in their latest shareholder report, they talked about buyer agency and the commission lawsuits.
Okay.
And this is what they said. Now, I find it to be pretty fascinating. They said, indulging for a moment a future scenario where buyer agency goes away. We have high confidence that Zillow will remain in its strong position and potentially even stronger.
Yep.
In this scenario, the U.S. market would likely transition to what we observe in several international geographies, where a few large portals offer a pay-to-play digital listings marketplace. In this scenario, we believe Zillow would be an odds-on favorite to become the leading digital listing marketplace, given our brand, traffic engagement, and unique focus on solving movers' real pain points with our software-anchored housing super app vision. If international classified markets are any guide, it is possible this leads to a larger and more profitable business model for Zillow.
Indulging.
I know the word they
There
used
is
was
so-
indulging.
There is so much
Delectables.
meat in what was just said right there, the whole pay to play.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're pretty much talking
Let's
about
chew on it a
eradicating,
little bit.
Let's chew.
eradicating
Chew.
MLSs. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, now agents are out of the game because we are the marketplace. It costs you $2,000 to list your house with Zillow and have them showcase it to all their buyer pool. And hey, guess what? Because now you come shopping on Zillow, we got your loan, we got this, we got that. It's just they're totally attempting to quarter. And I promise
And
you,
you can
title's
use
not
showing
far away.
time to go look at it.
Yes.
And you know that the exec team is sitting back watching this buyer agency.
They're
play
indulging.
out. Yes, that's the word that they used was indulging. I will say, though, that when that verdict came out, their stock went way down. And it's because 2/3 of the revenue does come from their premier agent services, which is heavily focused on buyers. If you're one of the 88% of our viewers that aren't subscribed to our channel, please take a moment and hit the subscribe button, and also make sure you ring that notification bell so you get notified of our new updates.
Yeah, their buyer leads are going to be like they're going to be less valuable, right? But I think agents will have to pivot to like when they call those buyers and of going, hey, instead of like going like trying to get them to be a buyer, they're going to find out first, do you have a house to sell? Because that's where it's going to be right there.
Absolutely.
Where it's going.
You know, if you have a house to sell, I can help you, also do your buy sell. But I'd like, now that, we can't, buyers, their buyer leads are going to be like, they're going to be less valuable, right? But I think agents they'll have to pivot to like when they call those buyers and of going, hey, instead of like going like trying to get them to be a buyer, they're going to find out first, do you have a house to sell? Because that's where it's going to be right there.
Absolutely.
Where it's going.
If you have a house to sell, I can help you, also do your buy sell. But I'd like, now that, we can't, buyers have to pay for their own commissions, you got to sell your house with me for me to go and help you buy a house as well.
Yep.
In the
100%.
event that happens, right? Which
I don't see that
Because
not
they're
happening.
going
to happen.
Buyers are going to need representation. 100%. They're not going to want to go and like call every listing agent on Zillow and try to, hey, can I see your house this time? Can I see your house this? Okay.
Well,
I'm running late.
Imagine I'm flying in from
They're going to be doing the agent thing, and they're not going to want to do that. It's just.
Imagine like you're getting a job transfer. You're flying in from Chicago. You're only here for a Saturday and a Sunday, and you're trying to line all that shit up yourself.
No.
I don't know. With showing time, it's easy.
It is easier. I'm not gonna. It's not. But I mean, you don't know the area. Part of like what you get with an agent, especially in a relocation, is that agent's knowledge of the marketplace and all the other things that are going on.
And what happens when you go and show houses? Shit happens. Things get in the way, and you're like, and you have a schedule, and then you got a baby that's crying that needs to go do this, and now it screws up your whole rest of the day.
Yep.
And now you're trying to call all the agents and change the times, and
missed your slot.
It's a nightmare.
I think there's more to it than just the showing aspect. That's definitely one important angle. I think the contracts do, time and time again, when buyers and sellers are surveyed, they say that one of the reasons they love agents is because there's help with contracts.
So it's so funny you bring that up because I don't remember if I was having a conversation with myself or somebody the other day about this. Probably myself.
Is that what you're doing in the corner over there?
That's what I was
Talking
doing.
to
Talking to myself. Do you guys see a world essentially where the contracts almost become downloadable? And of course you could DocuSign them, electronic signature them, and then now it actually starts falling on the lender on how you should successfully structure your offer.
That's interesting. That's an interesting thought. I think that it would be difficult to have uniformity in contracts in a world where NAR wasn't governing things. Mm-hmm. Because who would set the standard for the contract? Like right now, we pretty much, if you're a realtor, you use your associations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most associations.
Which is drafted by an attorney.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Interesting thought on that. Obviously, a lot's going to change. Who knows how?
Yep.
And it's going to be a few months.
Yeah, but I also want to I think.
But you better believe it. Zillow is positioning.
They're indulging. They're indulging.
There's no question, right? Like, we're not doom and gloomers here at Zoodealio. I mean, there's no question we're optimists, right? I mean, and just based on our track record. With that said, this is an opportunity, I think, for a lot of people to actually go out there and dominate, right? Like, I think that, a lot of lenders listen to our show, so I want to talk to you guys for just a quick second. This is an opportunity for you to actually stop thinking about okay, well, how do I go buy another cup of coffee to get in more relationships with agents? And you actually start looking to how you're going to serve and support your agents, right? How are you going to scale out your message so that that message is that solves problems in the marketplace, you attract leads, and now you guys can still work those leads together, right? So there's just so many different ways to go about it. And I mean, I'm obviously going to get into that in a second, my advice when we get there, but just, again, this is, to me, this market is built for, I don't want to say the market, this shift of what's going on, I think is built for opportunists, but I will also say, in the conspiracy side of things, and hand it over to you, is who this definitely favors is absolutely the Zillows, the Open Doors, the conglomerates. Mm-hmm. It just, it does.
You could also there could also be an argument for where it may not, in the event that MLSs are disrupted and brokerages keep their listings, internal and don't willingly provide them. I mean, that's been
We send it back to the dark ages.
yes, exactly.
That's hard to believe a world that even exists. Because
It
we're
is.
talking about like almost eradicating the internet.
It is all very difficult to comprehend, and not to comprehend, but just it's difficult to imagine because we're so ingrained in the way it's always been. It's like, how will it be? And you start to kind of think of the different factors, and it's interesting. And I love there's massive opportunity. I am
Hell yeah.
fully on board with that. And Tony Robbins has a saying, it's never about the resources, it's always about the resourcefulness. And so if you're listening to this podcast and you're going, man, I'm just the little guy, because kind of as realtors, we are just the little guy. We're disenfranchised. Even when you're a big player in your market, you're still such you're such a minnow in this big sea of real estate that is. But you can do something really epic. You get to imagine and you get to create the future. And for me, that's really exciting.
Exciting.
For sure.
It's one of the biggest shakeups of all time. And, the cool thing is with these massive shakeups is it's a new opportunity. It's almost like there's a new zero that gets set and you get to run from the starting line equally.
The shift is a gift, guys.
I love that saying.
I think I've heard that one in a book.
I do love that, though. It's so true. It is a gift. And so be ready and be creating and be thinking. And, new energy is always exciting.
Yeah. So I know one of the other things that we wanted to kind of sprinkle in and talk about, something that, our show producer, Colby, had kind of brought to us is that China is getting ready to deploy another $137 billion into their economy.
China.
Yep. To really ultimately, it's all about creating movement but through rehab, through basically deployment of capital into real estate to get things moving, right? So there's no stagnation of what's going on.
Are they gonna build like empty cities again?
We're going to build another
No,
one.
we need some more money to
let's do
build
it
some
again.
empty cities.
Let's do it again, guys.
But it's all government. It's all of course all government based, right? And so I think he had posed a question to us like, why doesn't the U.S. Basically play the big government game and come and deploy and try to own more of that? And obviously the U.S. government does own a ton of land, but why don't they go after houses and whatnot? So, which is a curious question.
Well, because they kind of are.
They
like
are.
HUD and Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac.
Black Rock.
Yeah, they are.
So
That's
there's a lot of
That's the U.S. government, bro.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conspiracies about the institutions owning so many homes, and I find it kind of, when you look at the data, they really don't own that many. They do, but they don't, right?
Not compared to the mom and pop, right? The
Exactly.
mom and pop investors by far and away
the lion's share. Yeah. And so it take a long time for them to own what's been projected. It would take, I believe, years.
So
Decades.
China
maybe.
said that? Like, why doesn't the U.S. do that?
No.
No.
That's what Colby posed.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, Colby-
because we're not communists. Right?
Yeah, right? And so,
That's the immediate answer.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, well, it's not a government that's trying to rule the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Biden referred to President
Xi.
as a dictator.
Oh,
Right.
to him?
No, in a press conference after their meeting yesterday.
He's with them. He's like, dictator Xi.
No,
It's like-
after. Seriously,
Let
after.
me introduce you.
Really?
He
Dictator
did,
G, how are you today?
And everybody's like, he's just like office rocker. Like they just had
yes.
this. They just had this. Yeah, it was interesting. Anyway, why doesn't the U.S. do that? Who knows, right?
I don't know. I mean, I'm still with you, right? Like you have MetLife, you have all of these other people that are like deploying this absurd amounts of money into it to be able to buy houses. And even though we're only talking about fractions of percents, well, that's fractions of percents over a quarter of a time. And when you compound that over time, right? One of my favorite statements, incremental moves create monumental results. And to me, that's what this is bit by bit.
It's a play. It's a play. Maybe it's behind all these commission lawsuits.
Yeah, they could be because I think the buyers are going to be kind of disenfranchised if they don't have a way to, like, they don't have all these agents trying to get them to buy houses.
Yeah, especially first-time home buyers and marginalized home buyers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're gonna be hurt. The
is.
first-time
It's
home
sad.
buyers and the marginalized home buyers will be hurt with this because it's like the renters, right? Like
Totally.
people that need to rent and they can't find a place. No agent wants to help them because
Right.
they have like a $200 commission. It doesn't make any sense to help a
You
renter
spend more on
because
gas.
you spend more on
Dude,
gas.
because-
And time. It costs more to work with the renter than to than to not. So
Yeah, they go to the property management company more times than not, or
Right.
whatever source. And you talk to almost any renter, they're basically it's a shit show to rent a house. They can't get in, they can't get service.
Yep.
It sucks.
Right.
So
And the agents that are working with renters that are successfully doing it, they're taking a $500,000 deposit from them as a commission, and they say, well, if they pay $200 for commission, I'll take the $200 off.
Or you have the agents that just use it as part of their business plan to build relationships
Yeah,
to help that
obviously you
renter become
can-
a buyer in the
exactly.
future.
But if they have to pay their commission, they're
Right.
not going to do that anymore. So it's going to hurt them even more. So
makes
and-
you think about new builds too, right? How's that going to shake out? I mean, granted, I think that most of the new builders that salespeople that I know, they say that like it's only like I think it was like 1 out of 3 to 1 out of 5 of the people that walk in actually have an agent.
No kidding.
It's not
That's
even
pretty low.
50%, right? It's low.
Interesting. Well, then why are these new builders always throwing us massive bonuses and
Well, because that's in the times of lean times, they're trying to really motivate people to get their people there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which if what we know is that if they do it, it probably works.
Right.
So if they
Obviously.
don't have that option anymore, home builders are going to hear. So that kind of stems into what I was going to talk about, guys. So home builder sentiment came out today. It dropped to the lowest point in a year.
Okay.
Jeez.
But falling rates spur some optimism. So we're seeing some falling rates. We saw the 10-year bond come down to like 4.5 or 4.45 or something like that. So interest rates are definitely coming down a little bit. But and then more builders are reporting cutting prices in November. So the average cut was 6%.
That's actually sizable.
I know.
That's
Because what do you think-
6% is massive,
what's-
especially today's prices.
Right. I was wondering what the median new home price is. Does it say?
It's 25 grand.
No, the median new home price.
No, it doesn't
Oh,
say
like
the
475.
That's what I would think, yeah.
Probably. I'm gonna guess 475.
So that would be 25 to 30 grand.
Oh yeah. You were giving the percent.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a sizable discount.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, in today's viral vibes, I have some breaking news that's pretty shocking. And when I heard it, I was surprised. So you think interest rates are high?
Oh, yeah.
Well, who else do we know that's always high? Snoop Dogg.
Snoop D-O-double-G.
And Snoop Dogg came out and said that he's quitting smoking
Shut up.
Smoking what?
weed.
Weed?
He is
Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg came out on his Instagram page. Yeah. Look it up.
I'm kinda
I thought it was a
disappointed.
joke. I saw it on Reddit and it was a meme. And I'm like, oh, this is a joke. And then I went to Google Trends and it's the #1 trending search right now. And it is true. Snoop Dogg is quitting
Does he give
smoking weed.
Does he give any context?
I wonder why.
So there was a teeny bit of context, not much. He posted on his Instagram page or his Instagram account, and he has grandkids, and he's like really getting concerned about life and longevity, and he wants to be here for years to come, and so he is giving up this
Good.
bad habit.
It is hard. I mean, because he smokes it, right? He's
81 joints a day, and he has a professional joint roller on staff.
Wow.
Wait, what?
That's what I
81 joints a
So-
day?
So he's
read-
Are you serious?
I read
Yeah.
that. I don't know. I'm like, how is that?
How-
Like literally, you would be like.
or he just he smokes a few puffs and gets rid of it. He just wants
Well,
a new,
and that's so much
new light.
weed. He's gonna go through shock. You know, how those people that are such crazy alcoholics that when they stop drinking, they have to progress them off. They can't just go cold turkey because it'll
No,
think
weed
it'll,
does-
It'll
weed-
kill him.
shock. Yeah,
it'll kill him. Yeah. Oh my
I don't
goodness.
think weed does that to you though. There's no physical attributes to it or physical. There's
Well,
mental,
there's
but
probably-
not physical withdrawals.
If you're consuming even a fraction of that
81.
quantity of weed, you're going to feel something when you quit. So, hey, send out the good vibes to Snoop. It is hard to quit something that you've been doing time and time again.
Hold on. We got to diagnose that more real quick because I'm literally just tripping on that.
I told you it was a good one
So
today.
the average person, let's just do simple math. You're awake 16 hours a day. So 16 hours divided by 81.
He's literally smoking the whole day long.
That's what I'm saying. Like nonstop.
Non-smoke
smoking.
has a. I mean, he literally, like, if you see him on podcasts and anywhere else, he's always smoking. So that you don't ever really, unless he's singing, whatever.
Yeah.
But then, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just double checked, guys, because you guys were like had such a reaction to that, and it is true. That is what he said. That once claimed to smoke 81 joints a day.
Maybe that's like the top, like back in the day.
Yeah.
But even still.
You know what?
Still, I'm just like, what?
He is turning a new leaf.
He's smoking a new leaf.
He's actually
turning a new leaf. So, and then he fired his joint roller.
I don't. His joint roller is like
lost a job.
filing
that
for
whole,
unemployment right now.
that whole NWA crew, like, especially who's the guy that actually died from AIDS or whatever else? He was actually my favorite. Easy E. Yeah, dude, that guy was sick. But all of those guys have absolutely smashed it in life, right? They're all like entrepreneurial,
Yes.
and they were all a bunch of like gangbangers, like when they originally came together, which is such a weird piece of it. But I mean, kudos to them, man. I mean, and here he is. I mean, and again, Snoop Dogg, like when you listen to him talk, like in society, he's upstanding, he's forward thinking, he's absolutely a contributor to society. And so it's just, again, I mean, I'm not saying that, you should be going around smoking weed all the time and whatnot, but I mean, it's still just, it's wild to see him go from where he was singing about the chronic to I'm not retiring from smoking weed. Pretty wild. Okay, so in today's advice, I got a little bit of an extension, from last week's. So where we were talking about going weed. We were talking about going weed, cig of weed. All right, let's get on purpose here. We're going wide versus deep. So what I want you guys to be doing is actually thinking about your systems on how you can scale out your message. But the goal is to have your systems capture the behavior of that consumer. So when they're engaging with your content, you want to take your most prized possession, your time, and focus your time on the people that are engaging with your stuff. And that's how you go deep. That's how you'll get into relationship. And ultimately how you'll do more transactions in today's market where so many agents are experiencing contraction. You can level up and focus on expansion.
And if you are curious how you can do that, we'd love to show you. So click the link in the description for a demo of Zoodealio. We offer all of this expert guidance here to our members.
Thanks, guys.
Weed out.
Weed
out. 88% of our viewers that aren't subscribed to our channel, please take a moment